Welcome to the Bernie Kosar Show with the legendary Cleveland quarterback himself alongside the top dog, Hanford Dixon.
Top dog.
Big dog, big dog, big dog.
Happy Mondays to everybody.
How we doing, fellas? Another chilly Monday in Cleveland. The Super Bowl is officially set. We can talk about those conference championship games that we had. How we doing this morning?
I can't
Well, actually, it's this afternoon.
It's already this afternoon. We were talking in pre-production meetings too long today.
Yeah, Gab, I'm not doing too good. My elbow, my throw and elbow.
Oh, really?
Oh
You
yeah,
got an injury?
that ulnar nerve. I'm not getting. You're not getting any sympathy from myself or Brock Purdy today, young man.
It's hurting a little bit. I was hit on the way coming in here, and I told him that was going to affect the show.
Oh, man. Look at him. He's got the one-liners today.
He shook hands left-handed today. Yeah, I thought he was big timing me.
Hello to Big Play Dave we got in
What's
studio
up, guys? How we doing?
Big dog, how you doing?
We're good.
Big play?
as well. So, yeah, well, let's get into our opening drive, and we'll let you guys chat it up. Okay, so we can briefly go over those games we've got. Want to start 49ers Eagles?
Well, I got to say, on my opening drive, though, I survived the emotional scars of the AFC Championship weekend, okay, and got past that. And absolutely, I am so fired up to be positive on Monday because Cleveland, we are represented. We are in the Super Bowl, and we're on both sides of it with the awesome Kelsey brothers representing both of us and representing Cleveland well in this year's upcoming Super Bowl, top dog.
Hey, that's crazy because I was on my way here, and Marcy, a girl that works for me on my team, and she called me, and that's the first thing she hit me up with. She said, I said, I know what the hell you're getting ready to say. Don't even say it. She wanted to say, Heights high, Heights high. That's what they say, Cleveland Heights. Heights high. I said, I understand. You don't have to tell me. I said, I'm just as happy for him as you are. You know, I just think it's just great, man.
Well, Mr. and Mrs. Kelsey did such a great job of raising their young men, and it had to be awesome people on and off the field, but they dressed so well when they were young because she put them in those little 19 jerseys that I liked. So she swelled my cranium up very well.
Awareness 99, yes.
I said to Travis one day, I go, hey, you know, I got to thank you, you know, I got to really thank your parents. You know, your mother's so awesome that she dressed you up for Halloween and you and Jason in the 19 Bernie Kosar outfits. And he goes, no, we dress like that every day. I go, I love her even more.
Well, I tell you that before we get into that Kansas City game and this 49ers, let's talk about this 49ers Eagles. I have a question for you, Bernie. I just felt so bad for Brock. I mean, Purdy. I felt so bad for this kid. I mean, here he is. For the 49ers. He's getting to a big game, and early in the ball game, I mean, it's just a fluke accident. I mean, obviously they hit his arm and messed his elbow up. Has anything like that ever happened to you?
God.
If so, can you?
God, you know what? I'm sitting there watching the game, you know, and I said this in the opening drive as a joke in terms of the scars of championship weekend, but, you know, for us to have had our 3 AFC championship games and for them to be the drive, the fumble, and to not come away with wins, you know, I had, you know, those emotional thoughts in my head, and bluntly, I was kind of sitting there at the beginning of the 49ers game, the NFC Championship game, kind of swelling my cranium, and I don't want to start to show off by trying to amplify myself, but kind of got the monkey off my chest. In the NFC Championship game for myself back in the day, and I don't want to prop this for it, but, you know, I got the Super Bowl ring on me here, but, you know, the relief to kind of get that victory, I was kind of relishing.
Let me say this real quick. I saw you reaching in your pocket. I was wondering what you was reaching for,
I'm
big dog, when you pull it
it's
out
too
your
big
ring.
to wear it and stuff. I'll pull out the ring and stuff. And, you know, I'm kind of reflecting back on some of the AFC Championship games that didn't go so good, and then to have that NFC Championship game for myself to beat those 49ers, to see that. And as I was kind of thinking that early in the game starting, and then I see what happened to Brock Purdy and that fumble. And again, not to make this about me, but the immediate thought of how my elbow to this day is hurting, and you think of the long-term consequences of it. But just as it affects the short-term, immediately kind of reflecting from myself to see that he's screwed in San Francisco. There's, physically, I know when that happened to me, my whole body was okay, but the amount of pain between your hand and your elbow, and the pain is one thing in dealing with pain, but the inability to have any strength and any ability to actually throw the ball, which is the main thing for us quarterbacks, was telling. So from that point there to reflect to see what happened to me and to kind of relive that.
What game was that for you? When did that injury happen for you?
That was, and then we got to relive that. That was the first game, 1988, at Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City. So to see that game coming up next and know that was happening, I had kind of been thinking a little bit about that because I bluntly never think of Arrowhead without that injury, because I know for myself, and the first thing I looked at, my elbow bone popped out, and I popped it back in with it. And then did not play, or back then we didn't.
So you stayed in the game?
I stayed in for a little bit.
Okay.
But then you couldn't throw and stuff. So back then you didn't take your uniform off and you didn't get x-rays and stuff till after the game. So Gary Danielson went in, stayed as the backup quarterback. So not for 4 hours later do you not get it analyzed, and that's because then staph infection sets in, and that infection stuff, which causes the long-term stuff. So man, I so hope for Brock Purdy's sake, with the not just for the tragedy of yesterday's game, but for the long term of it. Man, it's hard to get that strength back. I mean, I masked that it didn't affect my career towards the end of it. And, Bill Belichick, myself, we kind of joke about, and he's taken a lot of shit over the years for diminishing skills. Yeah. But bluntly, you do have diminishing skills, and that accelerated my diminishing skills. And I hope for that young man who is just a rookie, that doesn't happen to him.
Well, some of the takeaways I took from that ball game, the 49ers and the Eagles, I mean, obviously we knew coming into that ball game that the Eagles were a good football team. Obviously, they take the ball in their first possession, they go down and they score. Jalen Hurts, I didn't think he had a great game, but I think he did everything that he needed to do in order to win this ball game. And what I thought, I knew that coming into this game, what they had to do was the 49ers had to protect their quarterback, because the Eagles, man, I mean, they had, I think in the regular season, they pretty much led the league in sacks. I think if the number's right, it was about 70. And it all, I mean, you had...
they were impressive. They were impressive.
They were very, very impressive. And I just felt, Bernie, so bad for this kid, Josh Johnson, who had to come into the ball game. What was he, like the third or fourth?
Fourth quarterback for him this year.
Fourth quarterback. And he had to come into the ball game, and you could tell it was, I mean, he was ready, but he wasn't ready. He was about as ready as he could have been.
Yeah, for the fourth quarterback, I mean, Josh Johnson has played. Actually, played with the Browns. He's played for just about every team within the NFL. He's halfway there. He's halfway home, and God bless him for keep going and keep stepping in like that. But you're not going to win an NFC Championship game at somebody else's home.
Wasn't that?
Wait, so what would happen when you guys played? You said there was only two quarterbacks on the team. What would happen if both of you guys get hurt? Like, who's coming in?
Yeah, so Coach Marty always had that kind of plan of the emergency quarterback. Brennan would want to be that some of the times and stuff. He would always have that guy.
And Brennan's over there hoping that day never comes.
Yeah.
He's over there saying, I don't want any of this action right here.
Oh, speaking of emotional scars, that's the Brian Brennan one is, and I want to say this in the spirit of levity, because there is life-changing things that happen in these AFC, NFC Championship games, Super Bowls, that you want to be the guy scoring the touchdown. You want to be that kicker for Kansas City, kicking that field goal yesterday at the end so that he's high and mighty. You don't want to be the Buffalo kicker that's, kicks it wide right and stuff. Watching watching some of the stuff that happened yesterday, like with the Cincinnati situation. But from a light situation, and we're talking about Brennan and stuff. It's 1986. We're playing the Denver Broncos, the AFC Championship game. Unfortunately, it's the drive game. I'm 59 years old, and it's only taken me about 30-some years to actually be able to talk about this in the spirit of levity with a fake smile on my face. But with about 4 minutes to go, I hit this bomb to Brennan. He scores a touchdown. We go up by 7. And it's much documented what's happening with John Elway in that 98-yard drive. Top Dog, I don't know if I even said this to you. About halfway through that damn drive, okay? It's in and around midfield now, so there's a minute or two to go in the game. And they're driving, and, and I typically never watch the other team. So very rarely did I watch the other quarterback. Did I watch you playing? Because I just knew and assumed you guys would get it done. And then I was always getting my guys ready and preparing for what I was going to do next. But this is one of the first times because it was hopefully close them out. So I'm watching it. I'm standing right next to Brian Brennan. Okay, they're driving. They're making that drive. They're about the 40-yard line. And, we're rooting you on. I'm hoping, we're all rooting for positive. Brennan looks up to me and he goes, "Damn it. They're going to score, and nobody's going to remember my great catch." Oh, my God.
No, he didn't.
Oh, yes, he did.
Oh, that was the wrong thing to say.
Oh, matter of fact, I'm actually regretting saying it now because the things that I may come out of my mouth may get me really just fired up here. So I almost, why he's under 5'5" was because oh my God, that was a true story.
Was it?
That didn't go over well.
Yeah, no, I was going to say. But, what that game yesterday was kind of painful to watch toward the end because, obviously, Purdy couldn't throw the football, and Johnson went out. He had a concussion. Pretty much his head hit the back of the turf. But as a
so your question, then Marty's like, well, hey, if Gary gets hurt, you got to go back in. If Josh Johnson gets hurt, you got to go back in. I go, but bro, I'm useless.
And Brock said that during the game.
There's nothing I could do. So to your point, we were talking before the show, like this is not right thing to do, but like, he can't throw the ball at all. It's unfair to, for the team, the situation. You could get people seriously hurt. And just with gambling and things that are going on right now, there's things that you just knew were not going to happen.
As a defensive player, you're sitting up there, you're just smiling because they can't do nothing but run the ball. Can't do nothing but run the ball, and all we have to do is stop the run, and that's pretty easy right now. So it was kind of painful to watch that game toward the end. But can you imagine those fans in Philadelphia? They are just happy right now. Going to the Super Bowl. We're going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, the Philly fans, I love them. That's it had a flashback. That was my last pro pass was in Philly Stadium, and good, I'll bring it up here because it went for a touchdown and stuff. I felt cool, came over to the sidelines, feeling good about hitting O.J. McDuffie, a Clevelander, for a score. And I got about 20 beers thrown on me from those beautiful Philly fans.
Gab, did you see that catch?
The Devontae Smith catch? Here, hey, let me get my trio shot here. The catch?
Yeah.
That catch, yeah.
How did the 49ers not challenge that?
We had a thing from offense. When we thought a play was going to be reviewed, it is actually practice scripted. You have code words that everybody yells, get up, you go to the line of scrimmage, and you have a preset play ASAP as fast as possible. Typically, it's the quarterback who makes that decision. Typically, the guy who catches the ball, he's usually in that acting mode pretending he caught it, trying to act. So he isn't usually the guy who does it. So when that guy does it, I used to tell my guy, don't be the guy doing it because that's the giveaway. You didn't catch it. So yesterday when I was watching that, and I love Kyle Shanahan. I can't believe with 4 quarterbacks, how far the 49ers got this year, how they manipulated their system and their injuries, and then to do that. But when I saw him, Devontae Smith, get up doing this, which is the Philadelphia signal for get to the line and run a quick play. When your receiver does that, that's like if you're a poker player, the biggest tell that there is out there. Even though they did it massively efficiently, the Eagles, in terms of getting up there real quick to where Kyle Shanahan couldn't get that one angle for it. You got to drop that challenge flag because he gave it away. He didn't catch it.
And if not drop the challenge flag, he's got to at least call a timeout to give him time, because you're right. He needs to see that to make sure, because that was a big play in the ball game.
It turned the whole flow of the game. I mean, going from I get the ball and it's 0-0 at the 40-something yard line, then to all of a sudden they're up 7-0.
Well, you know why upstairs they didn't challenge it, because what happened was Nick Saban. Devontae Smith obviously is from Alabama, went to University of Alabama, and Nick Saban was on the phone with the guys from the headquarters, the refs at headquarters, talking to him, and not to let them jump into that particular play. So that's why Philadelphia was able to get that play off.
Time to move on. Hanford's talking to CC.
Gene's Terratone, he was getting his cell phone was busy,
and Gene's still cussing. God damn it!
I missed it. Nick called me.
Nick called me. That's what happened.
Hanford's been on one today. Okay, Bengals, Chiefs. All right, the last second field goal. Now, we watched Burrow light it up against Buffalo last week. What did Kansas City do to limit him yesterday? 26 or 41, 270 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions, 5 sacks.
Yeah, so that last phrase, Gab, the 5 sacks, and it could have been 10. It could have been significantly more. He actually made some big-time clutch third and fourth down throws. I love how they go for it on fourth down like that, and the way they get shots down the field like that. Live by the sword, you die by the sword with that. So that's an issue with it. I love how he played yesterday. Yeah, does he want that from the 8 minutes to go in the fourth quarter back and those couple drives back? Does Zach Taylor want some of those plays back? Yeah, absolutely. But the reason yesterday was the Chris Jones and that pass rush of Kansas City, and then having 3 offensive linemen out for the Bengals. The Bengals line yesterday got physically overwhelmed, and Chris Jones is a man.
Oh, he is a monster. Regular season, 15.5 sacks, two yesterday.
His first 2 of his career in this postseason.
And I just thought that was a great game. I mean, the flow back and forth in that ball game, and I think Cincinnati, I was a little worried earlier in the ball game for them, but they got back into it. They was able to do what they needed to do to score. And obviously, I think Kansas City had I thought they had a great defensive plan, because they were not going to let certain people on that
Jamar Chase. He made some plays, but he had to earn. He had to earn every. And Joe Burrow had to earn the throw to get it to him.
He did.
They made it look professional, but that was tough stuff.
And you know who I was getting mad on that Kansas City defense for a little bit? Cook was the defensive back. But when you look in that secondary, I think they had 3 rookies playing in that ball game.
Right.
They had 3 rookies playing in that ball game. And then Cook came back toward the end of the game, made an outstanding play. I think did he make the interception? Did he do the tip? And they got, you remember on the deep
He made the tip.
Yeah, he made the tip. And then obviously, but I just thought that was a great game. And but what about Bernie? I mean, we all talked about, we know about high ankle sprains. We know how tough they are to come back, and sometimes, usually how long they take you to come back on. I mean, Bernie, when he went out there and he played the game, and especially the last run he made on that bad ankle, I mean, it was outstanding.
Yeah, there's so many awesome points to bring out in what you just said. And first and foremost, bow all of us to Patrick Mahomes and the toughness that you're talking about, the resourcefulness, and then just the great quarterback play that he did. I mean, yes, on that play.
Did you see some of those throws too?
The throws.
You got to get into a couple of those.
Oh, a couple of those throws and the coverages off of that. Like they're seeing zero coverage and getting the first down. Getting the touchdown to number 11, Marcus Scampy down there, where he sees the safety coming up to get Travis Kelce, and he throws it over the top of him. Gorgeous, gorgeous stuff.
And then Kelce filling the defensive back to his outside instead of going outside. He come back to the inside and on the touchdown. Was that the fourth down play?
That's the fourth down too. Actually, just about all of us on that play have an incompletion, a throwaway, a sack. And for him to, on that ankle, to have the athleticism still and presence to get outside, and then for his ability for him and Travis Kelce to understand each other, to have a corner running bow out towards the back pylon, and for both of them to see the outside technique of the cornerback and then to adjust it into a seam like that. I mean, it's almost, you can't coach that type of awesomeness.
Bernie, just out of curiosity, what was worse for you, the elbow or the ankle injury? Harder to get back in a game and also.
So I didn't leave because of the ankle. The ankles is, they're both end up being long-term. The ankle is something you could work around it. Yeah. I didn't have the athleticism like Patrick Mahomes, but I still was able to play and work around it. This elbow, alder nerve, alder ligament, collateral. This one is torture. This is a bad one for Josh Allen. Got it some. He's so damn strong that he didn't get it as bad. These linger and come back, and unfortunately, because we get hit, like you've seen a half dozen quarterbacks this year get hit like that. You almost like a concussion. Once you get one like that, the next one comes easier. So for a young guy, unfortunately, it could be coming easier, and that elbow one is unfortunately way worse with it.
Bernie, you know what? I already had respect for Mahomes, but yesterday I thought to me it went to a new level.
A new level.
Let me tell you why. Because he had Valdell Scantling. I think he had that wide receiver. He had Kelce. A lot of his other weapons were out of the ball game. They were hurt, and they couldn't get the running game going. The running game could have saved him, but they couldn't get it going. So he had to make some plays. And on the defensive side, you know what they were doing. They were doubling pretty much those two guys, but they still came through. I'm talking about Kelce and Scantling, the wide receiver. They were doubling them, but he made some throws. He made some plays with his legs that I didn't think that he was going to be able to make. And I tell you what, my hat's off to him.
Yep, his resourcefulness, his toughness. Not that he needed to prove himself to people, not that he needed to prove himself to his locker room, but that level of toughness and that level of resourcefulness, and then just flat out winning, he's taken that level of respect to another level within the locker room. And
How about the trash talk after the game too?
That's what I was laughing at.
Another level.
Well, that's what I was.
Come on, we got to tell our mayor. We got to tell our mayor in Cincy, man. Come on, don't fire up the boys like that. You can't write the check unless you're the guy going there to cash it.
Gab was reading my mind.
Hanford, what kind of stuff would you be saying?
When I'm over here laughing, that's exactly what I was thinking about, all the trash talk. And Kelce came out and he just said, "Hey," he said, "give my guys some respect." He said, and then you heard Mahomes talk about it at the end. Said he was going. He doesn't have any cigars, but he's going. He wish he had them so he could smoke him a cigar. And what did Burrow say? He called the stadium
Burrowhead.
Yeah, but to Joe's defense, that's the level of, I believe, love and respect his teammates have for him. So that's actually what the Bengal fans and the Bengal players are saying. I don't think Joe started saying that. Yeah. And I'm not his marketing rep, and I'm not sure I care. Okay, but I don't see him saying that. I see that same level of love that they have for Mahomes, which they should, they have that for Joe. And I think Joe's teammates and fans are saying that.
And I'll say this: I do not have a problem with him if he said it. I do not have a problem with it. I do not have a problem whatsoever because you know me. I talk shit all the time. I talk trash every single game. And I think, but you still have to go out and you have to play.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to play.
Because
I have no problem. I have no problem with Joe.
So, and you're a leader.
Yeah.
And you were a leader when we played.
Yeah.
And as I was, as Joe Burrow is.
Yeah.
And sometimes you have to do that, and you have to say it because just like you said in Kansas City, they got 2 or 3 rookie defensive backs back there. You want Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes to be bowing up and acting confident like you got it, we have this, so that the young kids believe they got this too. You don't want them being wishy-washy, indecisive, not believing in themselves.
I would have been the first one to run behind Joe and say, look, we got your back, God damn it. We don't care. We got your back. I agree with you. It is Burrowhead, God damn it.
So you guys were in 3 AFC games like that.
Oh.
I won't bring up what happened in those. But...
Yeah. No,
we
but
don't want Gab calling you a loser like she did in the before the show.
I said, how many was it? 3? Okay.
Yeah.
86, 87, 89.
Well, we talked about
and
these.
it still hurts.
And it still hurt.
Yeah.
Look at you guys. They shed a few tears before.
Yeah.
Did you who talked the most shit after those games?
Well, I was thinking, though, as we said that and what happened yesterday and stuff, we said it in levity, which is actually the first time in, basically 30-some years that you could actually even say it in levity and stuff about BB during the drive and stuff.
Yeah.
In 89, I was so banged up and stuff with my elbow out of 88 that I had all my fingers were broken. I had rubber bands holding my fingers together. That's why I could feel for Brock Purdy yesterday or Patrick Mahomes in a divisional round. Like, you live to play in these playoff games. You live. I know there's more important things in football, but again, not to us when we're playing. So, yeah, this hand was all effed up. It's still effed up because of it. But, man, you put rubber bands on. You do anything you can to play, and I'm proud of, to have been able to throw a few touchdowns and score some points in that game, but it didn't materialize that way. And then, watching the end of the Kansas City game yesterday where Mahomes and that awesomeness and showing his toughness and with that high ankle sprain to make that run like he did, to give himself a chance. And the refereeing was just horrible in the game all day. But unfortunately, 58 for Cincinnati, he did push him out of bounds like that. Yeah. And to see him crying after the game and the ramifications of that penalty and that mistake for him, not that one play cost you the game, but that was a big play to not get them into overtime and stuff, and to see how horrible he felt. It just brought back memories of watching him on the sidelines. It brought back memories of me coming up to Ernest Beimer, during our 87 game out there at their place where everybody's friggin' happy like they were at Kansas City yesterday, that they were out in Denver. And, our life just changed. 58's life just changed. I love Ernest Beimer. We would not have been the dogs of the mid-'80s, the late 80s, if it wasn't for Ernest Beimer. But his life changed because of that play. Lives change at this time of the year, and I know we want to sit here, and I want to sit here and have fun.
Yeah.
People want to sit in these shows and rip the hell out of some of these guys. There's a long-term cost that goes with this. These kids yesterday put their life on the line for this, and they have a whole life to live, and a lot of times they remember this forever. I remember things forever, and I'm blessed to have mostly good memories, but we're saying some stuff that I don't want to see happen to anybody.
Right, and you answered the question I was just getting ready to shoot at you. Thinking about it brought back the same memories to me, talking about Ernest Beimer. And one thing we wanted to, we made sure that we let Ernest know, because he was feeling really bad. And one thing we wanted to let him know that by no means was he the reason we lost that ball game.
No, he's the reason we came back, man.
Right, because
man,
he had a
3
hell of a ball
touchdowns,
game. He had
man,
a hell of a
rushing
game.
like that. He was the dog catching
had
the
a
ball.
big
like,
day.
and this isn't just covering for. Go watch this game, man. That was the sweetest that I've ever seen a man play. And me and him, we were talking about the Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce chemistry and beauty that they have on the field.
Yeah.
That's the chemistry and the communication that I had with Ernest Biner. And, we would not even have been close to be in that game and had a chance to win if it wasn't for how awesome he played in that game.
And one thing I'll say before we move on, Gab, one thing we did, we made it plain and clear. We win as a team and we lost as a team. And that's the way we always carried it. No single player, no single play. It was all of us together, and that's the way it happened.
Let's make a little Browns comparison here. Bring it back to the Browns. Browns-Eagles. Okay, so the Eagles called an aggressive game similar to Kevin Stefanski. They went for it on 4th down twice, threw it deep on 4th and 3. Is the Eagles' offense something the Browns can emulate? Mobile quarterback, good run game, strong O-line. And actually, we've got a little picture for you, too. Speaking of mobile quarterback, Bernie, can you believe that this is what YouTube put in their title for the longest run of your career?
Yeah.
Slow quarterback.
Why does YouTube have to put that in?
Hey, what the hell are they talking about?
They did you like that.
So it was funny just peeking up at that little pic right there. You could see that I'm looking back over my right shoulder. Top dog. Yeah. That was 2 deep, 5 under man coverage, okay? It was like Moses parting the Red Seas, okay? Everybody ran right to the sidelines. Since you're talking about Philadelphia, Jalen Hurts, we were on the 42-yard line. If that would have happened to Jalen Hurts, that would not have been a 22-yard run. That would have been a 42-yard touchdown run. Okay, if that would have happened to Top Dog, it would have been a 42-yard touchdown run. But it happened to me, okay? And I'm a 5.55 running 40, man.
But you look good doing it, dog.
So I look like a giraffe. And then I'm running. Top Dog, I'm running, I'm going. I'm like, I ain't never run this far. Somebody got to catch me. Okay, so I'm looking over my shoulder. Where are you, brothers? Come and get me. I seriously, I'm laying on the ground there. I roll over. I got to call a timeout. I hadn't been that winded in decades.
Hey, we had to go get him. We had to go pick him up. We had to.
God, why did we win all those damn Denver games in the regular season? We won that game too.
Hey, you have me turning red. You know how hard that is. Oh, man.
So what do you think? Is the Eagles' offense something the Browns can emulate?
I think we're trying to. I think what Philadelphia has is Jalen has been in the system now a couple years. We were looking for Deshaun to be in the system more. And their receiver corps, their receiver corps is top tier. They have difference-making weapons out there.
And obviously, I think we're on the same tier as them. When you look at it, they have a good offensive line. I mean, they have
Jason Kelce. This isn't just a Cleveland thing.
Yeah.
I mean, they were saying before the year, and I actually want to ask them about this. Maybe it was Jason Kelce's last year. Like, he's playing so damn good. He's dominant. Like, I'm not trying to start that rumor and stuff, but I heard someone
64 or 74. I think his number is 64 or 74. One of them.
Well, he's just dominant. Right now, he's just dominant. And actually, one of the things that the Eagles line does and that Jason Kelce does that was a pet peeve for me was quarterbacks had to call all the plays, and he had to go to the line of scrimmage and call the protections, check the protections, tell everybody where to go, line up, who to block. Jason Kelce handles the protection calls at the line of scrimmage. So for him to be able to tell not only the front 7, but actually be able to have vision through to the secondary to know where the duress is, and for him to set the protections. That's impressive, and that takes a lot of weight off us quarterbacks.
That's what I was going to say. Is that normally
no, most of us quarterbacks bear that responsibility. That takes a lot of weight off of us, and that actually makes it really helpful.
Oh, okay. Because
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I thought maybe you quarterbacks normally does.
Yeah, usually we do.
In that case, with the Philadelphia Eagles, he does.
It looks like he's setting the protections. Yeah,
But yeah, they have their offensive line is just phenomenal, and they can run that football, and that takes a lot of pressure off of Jalen Hurts, and they run that RPO. I mean, he sit there and he can hold that ball in there, and he'll tug it and he'll pull it out depending on what the end or is doing. But that offensive line gets so much push. I mean, they're looking at 5 yards right off the bat.
Yeah, and to Gab, your question how it possibly fits into the Browns. You know, Deshaun and Jalen have the awesome athleticism and the awesome arm talent to be able to do those type things. I believe our Browns line is superior too. The Philly line is probably one of the top lines in the league.
But
the Eagles receivers, they have more at receiver with those high picks and stuff. But we talked a lot about this of Deshaun and the RPO game that we're looking for him to come. And mainly, maybe it's because he missed the first 11 games, but we really didn't use the RPO game.
No.
We did some design quarterback runs, but that's not the same of what Philly's doing with awesome success with Smith and Jones as receivers with Jalen Hurts in that RPO game. So maybe that's something in the offseason I'm sure they're going to be working on to at least attempt to do. And one of the things that they also do is they throw a lot of people throw the slant, the quick 3-4 yard slant. They also throw the glance, that kind of 12 or 14 yard slant with the RPO game. That really puts more duress on those linebackers.
And their defense, I tell you, they were playing extremely well. And who could have started off better than number 7? What is it, Reddick or whatever his name is? Reddick?
Yeah.
I mean, this kid, man, he was all.
Well, Reddick's the guy who messed up Purdy's arm. I mean, that's what happened.
Number 7.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was all over the place.
Okay.
Yeah. How'd Arizona let him go? Yeah.
Pro Bowl games, you guys. Instead of an actual football game, this year's Pro Bowl games are made up of 8 different events, and they end with a series of 7-on-7 flag football games.
So I have 2 little, probably emotional, personal statements on that.
Yeah, how many Pro Bowls have we been to?
So that's just where us old guys, we get a little skewed because, and I'm not saying this to be, actually I'm going to say it to be funny, but it actually was factual. Back then, this wasn't right, but we carried our grudges against our other teams off the field. So, like, the Pittsburgh stuff was real. You know, the dislike for some teams was real and stuff. So, when you played in these games, like, from the quarterback perspective, they tried to kill you. So, you didn't want to play. I mean, we spent the whole year trying to win a Super Bowl and stay healthy to win a Super Bowl. And then with the stuff that happened to us in some of our playoff games and AFC Championship games, and then to a week later go play a game where, you know, Dexter Manley wants to kill you. Okay, Charles Haley wants to eat you. Okay, so you didn't want, you know, you try to get out of the games. But I went to a couple of them, but it was really because you didn't want to play in them back then. So I get, like, you don't want to have guys on an AstroTurf doing that, and I think you were kind of the same way.
Yeah,
I mean, you're playing press coverage out there.
I mean, we were going at it. I mean, obviously we wanted to stay healthy, but you got guys that are firing out at you, and of course we were in Hawaii at the time. That's where we played. Where is it now? In Miami? It's Florida? I think they're in. I think they did
Orlando or Vegas or something.
I like what they're doing
and
now.
back then too, this is to keep whining. They used to have rules and say, okay, you're not allowed to blitz and you're not allowed to play press coverage. Okay, great. So I'm chilling out all week. It's gonna be cover 3. I get my scam plays ready for cover 3. I know exactly how to manipulate some nice little stats to make you look good. Wouldn't you know Ronnie Lott's blitzing? Like, Ronnie, Christ, get off me, man. I'm just trying to look good here. You beat my ass a couple weeks ago. Like, cut me some slack. You know, like, these guys are freelancing out there. Like, dude, I got all kinds of problems.
But one thing about it, Gab, I mean, we, not on the field, but off the field, we had such a good time. I mean, all the guys all the guys you go to battle with, you sit down, you have a pop with them, and we just tell stories. And
wait, I'm going back now. Ronnie Lott's blitzing. He ain't supposed to. Mike Singletary's eyes are looking at me. He's blitzing. I'm like, dudes, get off me, man. We just had drinks 20 minutes ago. Okay, we're hanging out. We're all buddy, and now you're on my ass. My God. I got all kinds of problems here. We lost our game a couple weeks ago.
Hey, Richard Dent, those guys.
God,
this is by far the best Pro Bowl segment ever.
Seriously, that's right. We were sitting there, Richard Dent, Mike, Charles Mann, and they're beating my ass.
Charles Haley, it's so funny. Oh, I can't stop laughing. That was a good time.
Okay, these events: dodgeball, water balloon toss, longest golf drive, relay race, quarterback accuracy test. They had the tug of war, tic tac toe with kicks, punts. All right, Hanford, which of these competitions?
Well, it's definitely not the long drive.
First of all, Hanford, what would you have done if they said this is what you're going to do during the Pro Bowl?
Man, I would have been so happy. I'd have been so happy.
Oh, heck yeah, man.
Anything
Hey, Marty had us practicing.
Right,
we had
remember when Marty was the coach?
Marty had us practicing the Pro Bowl.
God.
Oh, God. We had all the guys on our team.
Looking at us there like, what the hell? This guy's crazy.
I got Bruce Smith yelling at me.
Yeah.
Get your guy in line. Get his ass in line. Dude, please, man. I got Bruce Smith is pissed. Okay, Daryl Talley wants to eat me. Okay, now I got to play them next year in the playoffs. There's a little art to this right now. All right, we don't want them any more pissed now. All right.
And Marty was serious.
No, we played the game. We practiced. We practiced.
And he's right. These guys are looking at us like, what the hell is going on with your coach?
Yeah, they're not going to vote for us anymore. We're not voting for you. You don't control your coach. You don't run that ship.
As fans, I think we'd love to see that come back, but now we're stuck with tug of war. So, Hanford, which event would you want?
Probably the relay.
Oh, I thought you were going to choose that.
I would probably do I would probably like the relay. Now, I wish I had the longest drive. I wish that was one I could conquer, but no. The relay, Gab. The relay.
Okay, all right.
So I'm chuckling. This does sound like an old man here, okay? But I'm thinking about this is way healthier and safer if I was a GM or an owner of it, because you worried about your guys getting hurt out there. So I see like Tyler Murray blows ACL in a non-contact play during the game. Yeah. And I think of that when we're going to be goofing around. To somebody, I hope nobody gets in a relay or a dodgeball, the knee, because you guys, we all think we're healthy by next week, but these guys all finish seasons. We're all 70, 80, 90, 95%. And your muscles and body's fatigued. So let's hope nothing kind of goes wrong from that standpoint. From there, and I'm probably over worrying about it. But if I was a GM, I'm not sure I'd want my guys overdoing that from that standpoint of it. And this may come out inappropriate, so we may have to use the power of editing and stuff for this. But I was thinking of there used to be a show in the 80s, early 90s called The Superstars and stuff. And on Saturday afternoon, they'd bring different guys from different sports, and you would do like longest drive, golf, obstacle course, relay race, 100-yard dash. So it's almost like this type stuff that they're doing here, and you had to pick these events out. So I'm in this with Herschel Walker, Skeets Nehemiah.
You got a problem already.
Willie
There's a problem already.
Yeah.
I don't want to be in there with those guys.
Yeah. So they go, what events you want to do? You got the 100-meter dash.
No.
You got the relay race.
No.
You got the 440.
No.
I'm out of events. events. Exactly. So I'm out of events. So what's the let me get the unathletic white man events. Okay, I got golf. I got closest to the pin. I got tennis. I got swimming. So bowling. So I'm trying to lose on purpose. I got all these events. I'm like in first place with all those. The next day were all the real events, though. The biking, the 100-yard dash. I am MIA for those.
What show was that?
This used to be on ABC.
We're gonna have to try to pull some old footage of that.
Yeah,
We'll
I was closest to the pin. I won like 10 grand. They had to have a 100-yard shot or 125-yard shot, and we were all so bad that I was closest to the pin at like 45 yards.
Oh, man, it's hard to top those stories. I think we got to get into our big play bets, though. Keep it moving here, and we'll be back in just a moment. All right, Tipico Sportsbook. Get ready to bet all season long with the show crew. We've got Cavs, Super Bowl, college basketball, and more. You can bet anywhere, but at Tipico, you'll get the best odds on your favorite Cleveland sports teams and players. You must be 21 years or older. If you've got a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Let's take a look at some bets. We'll shoot it over to Dave.
All right, Gab. First bet.
Wait,
Hanford versus Bernie. Tug of war. Who are you picking if we put it in the app?
Right. Would we dare ever bet on Bernie for one of these relay races?
Well, no, but you're not hurting my feelings for that.
Maybe
But I thought you were
somebody
going to say, wait, Bernie was showing how bad his ulnar nerve is, and we know he had his jacket off, so he has no muscles. So I'm taking top dog in the tug of war.
Top dog minus 5,000.
Hey, you know what that reminds me of? Sometimes when you're watching the NFL today, and Laura, what's her name? Laura Rutledge or whatever her name is, and then Dan is on there.
Oh yeah, NFL Live.
And they'll ask that question, Gab, something like that, and she'd look at Dan. Dan, you have no muscles. You know I'm not picking you. And he gets all mad all the time.
Wait, I know Orlowski. Actually, I thought he was muscular compared to me. She's busting his balls for being like thunder. Well, then that doesn't leave any hope for me.
All right, let's look at some real ones. Okay. Next week, we're going to get into the Super Bowl props. We'll talk about what color's the Gatorade going to be, all of those fun ones. How long's the national anthem going to be? Let's focus on the game this week. So, Chiefs.
How my
Eagles.
How my pregame Super Bowl commercial is going to look?
Yeah. So we'll get into that next week. We'll get into that next week.
We got time. I didn't get edited out. Sure I don't get clipped out first. Thanks, bro, for covering for me. Thanks. I'm gonna act like I thought about that.
All right, here we go. We got Philadelphia early odds 54%.
Wow, you're really good. Philadelphia did make it, huh?
Philadelphia made it, yeah. 54% chance to win the game. It's basically a pick 'em. It's minus 1.5 Philly. What are your thoughts? We got a lot of time before this game, but gut reaction from those games.
No. Go ahead, B.
No, I want to hear it. If you got an opinion,
I'm gonna. Looking at this game, I mean, obviously, it's the best in the AFC and the best in the NFC. And when I look at it, I'm going to stick with the AFC because I think 2 weeks is a long time for Mahomes to get right, and not only him, the rest of his weapons. I think they're going to be ready to go. I think this game is a pick 'em, but I'm going to go with the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm going to stay with the AFC.
You get 1.5 there too,
yeah. So I want to defer and take some time thinking about it because I really do love how both teams show toughness and resiliency getting to this point, and with Patrick's ankle and getting healthy and stuff I've been leaning towards just what Top Dog said, them getting some of the weapons back. And then I used to love having a bye week because it gave me that extra time to study and get plays. Andy Reid, we bow to him, his genius of orchestrating a play calling game plan is as top tier as there is in the NFL. Giving him that extra week absolutely plays into a massive positive for Kansas City. I still want to analyze, though, because I love the weapons, the receivers with Philadelphia, and the way Philly's been getting pressure and stuff with their front four. I'm not sure yet, and that's why I see it. I'm still not that I agree with Vegas, but I feel like a pick 'em myself right now.
When we talked about the Chiefs' defense before, getting after Burrow, this is here typical boosted odds. Big game countdown. Jalen Hurts to record 13+ rushing attempts. Do you guys think he's going to be running all over the place from the Chiefs' defense, or do you think he's going to air it out a little bit more?
I think 13 is a bit much.
That's a lot for a quarterback.
That's a lot for a quarterback, 13 rushes. I think he's going to run it, but I don't know, Bernie. I don't think 13.
So one of the things that Steve Spagnuolo does, and he was very clear with it yesterday, and he does this all year, they know they could score. They don't allow you to just go 80 yards in 14 plays over 12 minutes of the clock. Kansas City's defense will come after you, even if they get burned. They live by the sword, die by the sword. They're going to play that man press coverage. Yes, they play that shell cover too that they disguise so brilliantly. I love that. But I think when push comes to shove, they're going to have guys around the line of scrimmage to not give them some of those runs.
Hey,
but Jalen's absolutely gonna run the ball. I mean, that is what they do, and that is what he does.
I call Gab. She just starts laughing. Gab, I have a question. Did Bernie pick Kansas City, or did he?
No, I deferred. I deferred.
No.
You're trying to go back last week.
Yeah, let's go back from last week. Now, did he pick
No, I had
Burrow?
Joe. I had Joe last week.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
That was a pretty close game.
Yeah.
But that ain't close though. Hit it.
Yeah.
Who won the game?
Yeah.
Kansas City, right?
Kansas City. Kansas City.
No, but actually, the way the thing was last week when we did it was 3 or 3.5. Actually,
and it flipped.
Actually, when we sat here last night, it was a really not to do an education and gambling and stuff, but you almost never see when we sat here and did the show at noonish on last Monday. It was 3.5 points, 3 points for. The Bengals were getting it. That's what we booked in, and then it went as much as 2.5 for Kansas City. I mean, it flopped 5.5.
Well, you know what happened was they after practice when they saw Mahomes went out and he practiced, and it just kept changing then.
Yeah. Crazy. All right, if you had to pick someone to score a touchdown in the Super Bowl, who would it be? If you had to pick between Travis Kelce, Jalen Hurts, Miles Sanders.
Damn.
Those are the favorites to win it.
I like all of them, but
who's scoring a touchdown in the Super Bowl? Hanford.
I'm gonna go with Sanders.
Going Sanders.
I'm gonna go with Sanders 1, and just to give him some, I'm gonna go with Sanders 1. I don't know, Bernie.
You think Kelce keeps it going? He keeps scoring touchdowns.
I think Kelce. There's a big.
So this is where my emotional heart and my football knowledge
take the emotions out.
Converge together on my Travis Kelce bro crush. Love the Kelces. Love Travis. And besides that, Patrick does look for him. Andy Reid is so creative in the red zone, scoring zone for him on that. But to the previous question of Jalen Hurts and running in the red zone, the way the Chiefs play defense, I could see Hurts running the ball down there and him being one of the guys to pick.
Ooh, all right. I like it. That's all the ones we have for this week. Super Bowl next Monday. We will get those props going. We're going to have a bunch of them. Gab, back to you.
All right. Well, that brings us to our 2-minute warning, so I'll just go ahead and roll right into it. All right, 2 minutes on the clock, fellas. Have at it.
I'll defer to my illustrious teammate.
You know what? I wanted to talk about again, go back to those 3 AFC Championship games that we lost. The pain. I think the most disappointing thing for us. I mean, obviously we knew we lost, but one thing we realized, we had the best fans anywhere in the world. Talking about the fans here in Cleveland, and when we lost, not 1, 2, but 3 AFC Championship games, the thing that really hurt us as a team, we were thinking about our fans. We were thinking about how much we, not only do we let ourselves down, but we let our fans down. And that thing still stick to me today because, boy, our fans, they would support us, win, lose, or draw. They would always show up. They would always fill that stadium. 80,000 plus would always be there. They'll bring their banners, and they'll be there cheering us on. And every time I watch the championship game, and regardless of whoever lose, I would always go back to us losing in 3 of them. And I just want to say to our fans again, still today, as long as it's been, we still appreciate you guys. We know you're the best. And I still apologize for losing those 3 AFC Championship games because we hurt you. We know we let you down, and there's no way we wanted to let you guys down.
We would kill for 3 losses in AFC Championship games right now, Hanford.
I feel, and unfortunately concur with you, but when I was younger, I even more felt and resonated towards that. But as I get older, and Dave, to your point, and I've been kind of bored the last month not participating in these playoffs and only participating via this vehicle of the podcast and stuff. As disheartening as the Monday was post an AFC Championship loss and stuff, I would still cherish those moments and I think live for that for our fans, even now, to have that emotion and have that funness that you had through the holidays, through the New Year's Eves, and through the first couple weeks of the year when it's miserable weather outside, like it is like that. So that was one aspect of it I thought about. Also, it resonated with me yesterday. My first coach, Howard Snellenberger, who spoke so much about never quitting and that emotion of the 3 AFC Championship games and then being released and the diminishing skills. And it really was trending towards the end of your career, but never quitting, that Coach Snellenberger. And then, again, we were talking about like the 49ers and getting that monkey off my chest with the NFC Championship game was something that was fulfilling, at least, and cool for me to kind of think about that never quitting and coming through with a goal like that was awesome. And then as we're ending, I got to say one thing, Gab, and for all of us out there as fans, I love where we're going here in Cleveland right now. I love all of our sports. Our Cavaliers are doing phenomenal. We got the off season with the Browns, but we lost somebody the other day, John Adams, our drummer with the Guardians. I'm a massive baseball fan.
Beloved John Adams passed away. 50 years. He provided the heartbeat for our Cleveland baseball team, an absolute legend, and we did want to include that in the show.
Yeah, and as a kid, as an old man now who's been going to the stadium for baseball for 50-plus years, down to Municipal Stadium, where me and him were some of the only people in that stadium, and he's banging on the drums and stuff. God bless you, man. We love you. Thanks for everything.
You know what I think would be great, too, if they just put like a little statue of him out there where he used to sit with his drum, and that would be pretty cool. I tell you what, man, it's been another good show, big dog.
God bless you, brother.
But before I say bye, we want to thank everybody for listening, because I can't tell you, wherever I go, people stop me and say, hey, I listened to the Bernie Kosar show with Hanford Dixon. You guys are great. Good show, big dog.
Good show, brother. You matter. Whoop, whoop.